My name is Mara Holt. I'm 30, 4 years old. And on the morning of September 21st, 2024, my father pulled me aside at my stepsister's wedding and told me there wasn't enough room at the family tables. He said it quietly, like he was doing me a favor by telling me privately. He suggested I sit with the catering staff near the service entrance. I nodded. I walked away. I went to the parking lot, sat in my car for 4 minutes, and called the catering company. I told them to stop service. Then I called the florist, the venue coordinator, and the DJ. Every single one of them took my call immediately, because every single one of them had my name on their contract. My father had no idea he was asking the person paying for his stepdaughter's wedding to eat with the hired help. I need to take you back 8 months, because nothing about that parking lot moment makes sense without the 8 months before it. My father, Dennis Holt, remarried in 2016. His wife is named Cheryl. Cheryl has a daughter from her first marriage named Brittany, who was 22 when they married and is now 30. Brittany and I have never had a relationship that could be described as warm. She has always occupied a specific position in our family's architecture. The new daughter, the chosen one, the one my father clearly found easier to love openly. I am not saying this to be cruel. I am saying it because it is the documented reality of the past 8 years, confirmed by 100 small moments that I cataloged without intending to, and cannot now forget. My father did not attend my college graduation in 2012 because Brittany had a dance recital the same weekend. He did attend Brittany's college graduation in 2018, flew to Phoenix for it, stayed 4 days. When I bought my condo in 2020, he said, "Good for you," and changed the subject. When Brittany got engaged in January 2024, my father called me crying with happiness and said it was the best day of his life. I was on the call for 11 minutes. He did not ask how I was doing. I work in corporate event planning. I have for 9 years. I manage budgets in the hundreds of thousands of dollars. I negotiate vendor contracts, coordinate logistics for events with 500-plus guests, and I am very good at it. None of my family has ever asked me a single specific question about what I do. Brittany's fiancé is named Tyler. Tyler is 29, works in sales, and is perfectly pleasant in the specific way of people who have never had to try very hard at anything. The engagement party was in February. I attended. I smiled. I brought a gift from their registry, a stand mixer, $340. At the party, my father gave a toast in which he described Brittany as his daughter without qualification and referred to me in passing as also here tonight. I drove home and did not think about it for a week, which is something I have gotten very good at over the years. In March, Cheryl called me. She said the wedding planning was going over budget and asked if I could help with some of the vendor negotiations given my professional background. I said yes. I told myself I was doing it for my father, to keep peace, to be the kind of person who shows up anyway. I told myself a lot of things in March. What actually happened was that over the following 6 weeks, as I pulled vendor quotes and negotiated contracts and coordinated timelines, the budget picture became clear. Cheryl and my father could cover approximately 40% of what Brittany wanted. The other 60% had no source. Brittany had selected a venue that ran $12,000 for the space alone. She wanted a florist whose minimum was $4,000. The catering package she chose was $92 per head for 140 guests. The numbers did not work. I made a decision I have since reconsidered from many angles. I offered to cover the gap, not as a gift, not announced, just quietly moved through as a logistical solution, my card on file with the vendors, my name on the contracts, my sign-off required for any changes. Cheryl accepted without asking why I was willing. My father was told that the budget had been resolved. He did not ask how. Brittany knew my name was on the vendor contracts because the venue coordinator copied me on everything. She did not thank me. She sent one text in April that said, "Mara, can you check on the linen situation?" And I did. By August, I had paid $31,000 toward Brittany's wedding, venue deposit, florist retainer, catering deposit, DJ rehearsal dinner contribution, floral arrangements for the ceremony, chair rentals, the cake. My name was on every contract as the primary contact and billing party. My father had been to 2 planning meetings. At both of them, he thanked Cheryl for pulling it all together. The week before the wedding, seating charts were finalized. I was assigned to Table 11. Table 11 was the overflow table, the one that exists at every wedding for people the hosts don't know what to do with, distant cousins, plus ones of plus ones, an elderly neighbor. I said nothing. I told myself it was fine. On the morning of the wedding, my father found me near the entrance and told me, in the same quiet voice he uses when he wants to seem like he's being reasonable, that the family tables were fuller than expected, and it would be better if I sat near the catering area. Better. That was the word he used. I asked him once to confirm what he was saying. He confirmed it. I nodded, said okay, and walked to the parking lot. I sat in my car for 4 minutes. I thought about $31,000. I thought about a toast in which my father called Brittany, his daughter without qualification. I thought about a dance recital in 2012. Then I called the catering company and told them service was suspended pending a contract review. The catering manager said he understood completely and would hold until he heard from me. Then I called the florist. Same conversation. Then the venue coordinator. Then the DJ. All 4 calls took 9 minutes. Then I went back inside, found a chair near the window in the lobby, and waited. The sequence of events over the next 40 minutes has been described to me differently by different people who witnessed it. What I know from my own experience is this. The venue coordinator approached my father at 11:17 to confirm the revised service schedule and mentioned she was waiting on authorization from the primary contract holder. My father asked who the primary contract holder was. She told him it was me. He came to find me at 11:22. His face had a specific expression I had never seen on it before. Not anger, not confusion, something closer to a man doing arithmetic and not liking the answer. He said, "Mara, what's going on?" "Not a question," I said. "Dad, I'm the primary contact on every vendor contract for this wedding. I've paid $31,000 toward today. I was just told to sit with the catering staff. I need to understand what's happening before I authorize anything to proceed." He stood there for a long moment. He said, "I didn't know you paid for it." I said, "I know. That's what I thought." We looked at each other for several seconds. Then he said, "What do you need?" I said, "A seat at the family table." He said, "Okay." I called the catering company. Service resumed at 11:31. The wedding proceeded. The flowers were beautiful. The food was good. The DJ played the first dance song on time. Nobody made a speech about what happened. My father did not explain it to Brittany or Cheryl. I sat at the family table and ate my meal and watched my stepsister get married and thought about very little. After dinner, my father found me near the bar. He said, "I owe you more than a seat at a table." I said, "Yes, you do." He nodded. He didn't say anything else. That was the most honest conversation we have had in 8 years. I have since been reimbursed for $22,000 of the 31. My father set up a payment arrangement without being asked twice. $9,000 remains. I am not in a hurry. I have his signature on a document because I am a professional event planner, and I know what happens when financial agreements exist only as conversations. Some people have asked me why I paid for the wedding in the first place. I have thought about this a great deal. I think I wanted to be seen doing something undeniable. I think I believe that $31,000 of quiet competence would eventually be noticed and acknowledged. I was wrong about the mechanism, but not entirely wrong about the outcome. I was noticed, just not in the way I planned. My father knows something now that he didn't know in March. He knows what I am capable of and what it costs him when he forgets I'm in the room. That knowledge has a value I didn't know how to put on a contract. But I've been doing this long enough to know it compounds. If this story meant something to you, drop a comment. Tell me, would you have stopped the wedding? Or would you have walked away entirely? I want to know where your line is. Subscribe. I'll see you in the next one.